Today I'm going to try making pumpkin spice bread. So you will need a 9x13 loaf pan, baking soda, baking powder, ground cinnamon, a can of pumpkin, ground cloves, ground nutmeg, vanilla extract, ground ginger, 2 eggs, applesauce or oil. I'm trying it with applesauce. And of course cooking spray, which I've already sprayed the pan, and a large mixing bowl. And some granulated sugar, which is in here, and some all-purpose baking flour. So I will come back and show you how to mix this together and put it in the oven. And you'll have to preheat your oven to 350. Okay, I'm going to start mixing the ingredients together. So first thing I'm going to do is put in the flour and the spices. So you'll need 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. It's almost. 1 3/4 cups of flour. And then you will need baking soda. You want 1 tablespoon. And you will need the baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon. And you will need salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This time of year I love making pumpkin everything. I don't know about you, but it's just so delicious. And it makes your house smell so good when a pumpkin pie is baking or anything pumpkin and, you know, spicy. So you will need 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Those were 2 tablespoons. You can use a measuring spoon to make it accurate, but a lot of times I don't even measure stuff. I just like, you know, dump it in there. And I'm going by the recipe, so I'm forgetting it. And you will need ground cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of that, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, and ground nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon, and ground ginger, same thing on that, 1/2 teaspoon. And of course, vanilla extract. Vanilla extract. And you will need 1 tablespoon of this vanilla extract. And of course, a can of pumpkin. If I can find my can opener. This is live, so come on, can opener. Aha! And this calls for oil, and it said you can, instead of using oil, you can use applesauce. So I've never tried that before, but I think in this recipe, I am going to try that and see how it turns out. And as you can see, I'm putting everything in this pan, or this bowl, excuse me. Let's see here. And then, of course, you'll need 2 large eggs at room temperature, which I've already had the eggs laying out at room temperature. So I'm going to put in I'm going to go ahead and put in the 2 eggs. They're already been at room temperature. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the applesauce. It calls for, I think, half a cup of applesauce. Of course, this is the unsweetened applesauce that I'm using. I happened to come across this recipe, and I thought I'd try it, because I love pumpkin bread. Of course, you know, this is, and you can make this healthy version if you didn't want to use the regular sugar, because it does call for, I think, 2 cups of sugar. Actually, it calls for 1.5 cups of sugar. So if you was on a strict diet, or you didn't want to use or you didn't want the sugar content, you could probably substitute that for like stevia or, you know, a sugar alternative. And you're supposed to whisk it together, but I don't have a whisk, so I'm just using a spoon. I need to buy some new cooking utensils. And of course, you just mix all this together. And if you don't have a whisk, I'm just using a spoon. I just like simple, easy recipes. If they're too complicated, I'm not making them. Just want something simple and easy and delicious. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and add regular sugar, 1.5 cups. A good old sugar. I think it calls for a 1/3 cup of water too. So let me go get a 1/3 cup of water, and I will be right back. Okay, 1/3 cup of water. Smells good already. And of course, preheat your oven to 350, which my oven is already preheated. And of course, just mix all this together really good. Like I said, you're supposed to have a whisk, but I don't. If you don't have a whisk, that's okay. Just use what you got. And it usually turns out good anyway. I love a good pumpkin bread. I think that's mixed up pretty good. And of course, you just pour it into this loaf pan and stick it into the oven for about 60 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in the pan. And then once it's done baking, I'll come out and show you what it looks like baked. This is what it looks like once it's done and it's been cooled and come out of the oven. And you can add this topping to it, which is optional, but I just made a little bit of the topping to see what it would taste like. But to do that, you melt just a little bit of butter, put some cinnamon in it, a little bit of flour, and add a little bit of brown sugar until it's kind of like at a boil. And you add that to it. And as soon as my husband comes in, I'll have him eat a piece and he can tell you what he thinks. Okay, everyone, my gorgeous husband came in to taste the pumpkin spice bread I just made. So, what do you think, gorgeous hubby?
It looks great. Let's try a taste. Forgive me, folks, I just woke up.
He was taking a nap, and he just got up. Sleeping Beauty.
Yep. Alright, let's give this a taste. I love everything my wife makes.
Oh, well, thank you, baby.
Yep, let's give this a taste. See what I think. See what I think.
I've never made this recipe before. So I was trying out a different recipe. Because instead of the oil, it said you could use applesauce in place of the oil. And I've tried that, and it makes it more softer tasting. Or I thought it did. You know, give it more of like a sweetish, and the bread's more softer. I thought it turned out pretty great.
She's right, folks. You're amazing, baby.
Oh, well, thank
Love
you, baby.
this.
Because I thought, you know, the more I thought about it, applesauce instead of the oil. But it actually gives it more of a, like I said, more of a, you know,
Yum, yum.
smooth taste or whatever. And it makes the batter more moist. It ain't as dry as using oil.
Mm-hmm.
And it even tastes better, I thought. So, all right. So,
This is amazing.
oh, well, thank you, baby.
A+.
So, husband approved. And you are my A+, baby.
Thank you, baby.
Yes, Sleeping Beauty. All right, there you have it. My pumpkin spice bread recipe.